I'll just introduce you. Okay.
Okay.
So welcome to the Wines of Italy show. We're a couple of minutes late, and I still have to set it up on Instagram. But welcome to Andrea Lemieux, which I'm very happy to have as a guest again.
Thank you.
I think it was a couple of years ago during the pandemic. So when we were talking about her book
The
about
Essential Guide to
Turkish
Turkish
wine.
Wines. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm happy to have her again because she's always a great friend to have on the show or on the live stream. Also because I'm very curious about this new book she has written, the Dirty Guide to Greek Wine, which I read through. I haven't read all the parts really carefully yet, but I think it's a fun book. So do you want to present yourself a bit while I try to set us up on Instagram too?
Sure. So hi everyone watching. Thank you, Katarina, so much for having me. It's a delight to be on and to see you again. I'm so happy you're doing these again. I also want to pre-apologize if any of my cats walk across the screen or knock into the computer or anything like that, because they are likely to do that. My handle is the Quirky Quark, which I use because the wines that I focus on are often from countries that don't immediately come to mind for a lot of people. Italian, Spanish, French wine, Portuguese, American, South African, all of this, these are countries that people know. And, obviously they make very good wine, but my focus is the weirder kind of offbeat countries like Turkey, or even Greece or Hungary, which, while they are known wine countries, I think don't get as much love as they deserve. So I try to bring attention to those through my blogs, through my books, through tastings, tours, through any kind of way that I can get the love to them.
That sounds good. So, I mean, let's start. So you live in Istanbul for quite a few years now, and I know you had another job before, but now you're like focusing really on working in the wine sector with wine tours, wine tastings, and I guess you also help wineries. So I don't know. Can you talk a bit more about that? How that has developed, and how the wine scene in general is in Istanbul and in Turkey.
Yeah, so I've been here for almost 13 years, I think.
Wow.
I know. I thought I was going to stay for like 2. Overshot that mark a little bit. Weirdly enough, Turkey is kind of where I discovered wine. I drank wine in the US, I enjoyed it. I lived in DC for quite a while. So, I had the Virginia area to explore, but it wasn't really until I came here that I got really interested in it. And it really is a fascinating time.
So they're calling from the hospital, so I have to go. I'll leave you alone for a while.
Okay, no problems. So it's been a fascinating time to kind of learn about wine and come up, because at the same time that I'm doing it myself, the Turkish wine industry is also going that way. Turkey has had wine since before history was written. It's one of the oldest wine countries in the world, and the first evidence of what's the word that I want? Deliberate grape cultivation is from Turkey's Eastern Anatolia region. But the modern wine industry is still quite young. And it's been fascinating seeing it develop as I develop my own palate, my own knowledge of wine. Even within the wine scene itself, like the drinkers, not the wineries themselves. It's been really interesting for me to just sit in bars listening to people go from ordering just red or white to asking for well-known international grapes like Cabernet or Chardonnay. And now people are asking for specific native Turkish grapes. So the drinkers are becoming more aware of what is available here as well. And Turkey has more native grapes than any other country on earth. I mean, I think Italy still beats us for actually using most of theirs. I think Turkey uses maybe only 80 to 100 of its native grapes in commercial production, but there are over 1,400 grapes in Turkey. It's just huge. I mean, Probably not all of them are appropriate for making wine. We don't know yet. Those researches are still ongoing, but it's a really fascinating time to be here as wineries are rediscovering some of these grapes. And because Turkey doesn't have an appellation system that restricts what it can grow, how it can make wine, the amount of experimentation that's happening here is just so much fun. It's incredible to see what people are doing with both native grapes and international grapes. And Katerina is still off screen, and I've done my spiel about Turkish wine, so I don't know where to go from here. This is a fascinating predicament. But she did ask about, the development, I guess, Hobby Job to focusing mostly on wine. And that did happen for the last year. I've been trying to really make it mostly in wine without having the security net of a jobby job underneath it, which is terrifying because if you're at all involved in wine, you know that it doesn't really make a whole lot of money when you're at my level. And Turkish wine, you just kind of lose money by doing anything. So it's been an adventure. But I do give wine tastings in Istanbul with a number of really great travel agencies like Vines and Pearls and Fernweh, which is a travel experience curation company, which is just fun to say. I also work with importers who want to import wine to the US. For example, my biggest client is based in Texas, Fine Turkish Wine. He is the single largest importer of Turkish wine in probably the entirety of North America. And we're very excited that several of our wines just medaled at the Uncorked Rodeo, which I know wine and rodeos, I don't really get how that goes together, but I'm not from Texas, but it is probably the largest wine competition in America. I also give wine tours, I give talks, and as we mentioned at the beginning, I write a blog, The Quirky Cork, that's the name, and I've authored 2 books on wine, The Essential Guide to Turkish Wine, which I just published the 2nd edition. That was very exciting. And my new book, The Quick and Dirty Guide to Greek Wines. And now I'm going to look at the list of books Katerina sent me. This is really weird if you're watching because I have no idea and I'm just talking into the ether. So the 2nd edition of my book on Turkish wine, it's the same book, and that is The Essential Guide to Turkish Wines. It still includes information about the history of Turkish wine, infographics about the grapes, the stories about the wineries, great photography by my photographer, brilliant design by my brilliant designer. But it's new grapes, it's updates, it's more wineries, it's just a bigger, better edition than the first one. So even if you bought the first edition, you should buy the 2nd one because you'd be missing so much if you don't. The Greek book, I'm blowing through Katerina's topics so quickly, but I guess we'll see what happens when she comes back. Okay, first, visual aids. This is the Essential Guide to Turkish Wine with photography by Emma Aslıhan Başar Rose, who is my photographer, my research partner, my playlist maker, and my navigator, because I'm the only one who drives, apparently. And the design was done by Başak Gürkilic, who is a fantastic local graphic designer. This was the first book she'd ever designed, and I think she did a bang-up job. The first thing everyone says is how beautiful it is, which is not a brag on my behalf, because I didn't do the design, but Başak did, and you should buy the book to see how beautiful it is. The second book, it's a little bit different. This is the Quick and Dirty Guide to Greek Wine. So as you can see, it's much smaller, paperback, something like small to stick in your pocket. And the idea for this came because initially I actually had planned to do an essential guide to Greek wine, but Greece has just a few more wineries than Turkey does. And I knew I couldn't afford to spend that much time in Greece driving around trying to figure out Greek wine vocabulary because my Greek is like this much.
Okay, perfetto, grazie mille.
So what I decided I needed was a book that someone like me would use. So I drive. Michigan unwisely gave me a driving license, but I don't like to drive and I am not good at it. And particularly if you throw in trying to drive and navigate foreign countries and
oh my gosh. This is like live streaming.
Welcome to the live stream, Katerina. No, it's great.
It's telling me about the bronchoscopy I have to do, and she was like, all the things I have to think about and all the exams I have to do before this stuff. So.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. But I could not answer because then they would probably.
No. That's far more important than this is, and I've been having fun grandstanding. So let me catch you up. I've talked all about the Turkish wine scene, about the second edition of my Turkish book, and I just got started on the Greek book. And what is my opinion trying to get these wines into
Paul
the
is there. Paul Kolumkarian. Yes. How are you?
Hi, Paul. Are we talking Turkish wines or Greek wines? Because I think they both have the Turkish grapes.
You already did that, I think.
Yeah, so we do have a number of wines in the U.S. There are, I can't remember how many producers actually do export to the U.S. The guy that I work with in Texas is, like I said, I'm pretty sure he's the single largest Turkish wine importer in all of North America. At the moment, he works with 7 wineries, and we're hoping to add a couple more during his next order. But in addition to him, there are probably 10 to 12 other wineries, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're Turkish wine is a hard sell. So I think any wineries at all appearing in the US is fantastic. So hopefully we'll see more in the future, and hopefully Fine Turkish Wine figures out how to get wine out of Texas very soon. I keep poking.
Yeah, because they have a system in the US that every region has its own.
Yeah, we do. It's pretty awful. It's pretty awful.
So what did you talk about?
Mostly Turkish wine, how I came to wine, the second edition of the book, telling people that if they only have edition 1, that's not good enough. They need to get edition 2 because there's so much more information in it.
Well, that's perfect. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But this makes it more fun. It makes it more alive. So
yeah, anything can happen on live TV, right?
Yeah.
Well, here I was worried about my cats, no. And we just kind of started to tiptoe into the Greek book story. So I haven't really touched that yet.
So let's start on the Greek book then. I mean, I find it really cool. I mean, and I like all the illustrations. Is it still the same person as the last time, or?
Yes and no, in that I actually did all of the infographics myself this time around, but with inspiration from the graphics that Başak designed for me for the Turkish book. That's a great question. And I can certainly grandstand on that. Yes, Georgians and Armenians claiming to be the first to winemaking. Honestly, at the end of the day, if you look at that part of the world, it's all of us, and throw Iran in there too. It is that part of the world. And 9,000 years ago, when wine was first being discovered, there were no borders. There were no people who were Georgians or who were Armenians, the Turkic people probably didn't even exist at that point.
I know.
It was the Hittites and the Assyrians and the Phrygians and people who, these weren't borders. So we all share that history. So yeah, the oldest evidence of viticulture, like of deliberate viticulture, exists in Anatolia. Armenia has Areni 1, which is the oldest to date wine press. And then Georgia has their claim at 8,000 uninterrupted years. And since they I mean, we certainly had our interruptions in Turkey. You know, we had little spots of alcohol bans. So that is probably completely true. And I'm pretty sure Iran isn't interested in jumping into this particular fight just yet. Not with this government.
No, I don't think so.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, we all share this heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you happy with the answer, Paul? Otherwise, you can just ask another question. So yeah, the book. I mean, that's great that you did the infographics on your own. I think they're really cool and very helpful. I mean, because you see exactly where. Because I don't really remember either the geography of Greece, so it's like it was very good to see where the grape is grown and produced.
Yeah, I had a hard time like getting the arrows right. That was the hardest part of the whole graphic, but it worked out, I think.
But did you travel to all the wine regions? And
sadly, not yet. I've not been everywhere yet, and that's a little bit why I made the book like this. Is that when I travel, as much as I want to go to all the wine regions, I can't drive a car, navigate a car, and taste wine all by myself. Yeah, right. And I'm usually traveling on my own. So the way I discover a country's wines and wine regions is I scope out the best wine bars in the big cities, and I go to the wine bars and I sit with the menu and I talk to the sommelier, talk to the servers and be like, give me what you got. I want to learn. And that was kind of the inspiration for the Quick and Dirty Guide, because it was supposed to be a book for people like me who for whatever reason aren't going to be able to go to the wine regions, but still want more information than might be on a wine list, who want to know the characteristics of the grape, where in the country it comes from, a little bit about the region, maybe. Who are the producers I should be drinking and looking for? So that was my inspiration.
No, that's cool. I mean, when I went to Moldova in, I think just before the pandemic, that was also my thing. I mean, I went there for other work, like interpreting job. So I didn't have time to travel to any wineries or see anything. But there was really a lot of cool wine bars. I guess there are even more now in Chisinau. So it was a great way to taste through some of the areas of Moldova. So I definitely agree with you that you can't travel everywhere. So it's always great when you have good wine bars and good sommeliers, or kind of.
Absolutely. And I mean, I haven't been to Moldova in 15 or more years, so I owe the country a visit. But I mean, that would be a fun country to do a quick and dirty guide for. I mean, they have grapes that most people don't know about, and like you said, the wine regions. And I think it takes quite a bit of an adventurous spirit to jump in a car and drive around some of these countries, because I mean, you never know how good is Google Maps and what are the roads going to be like,
I mean, already the bars, like in a couple of them, they didn't even speak English, so we were kind of communicating with Google messaging, with Google Translator.
Well, that's cool. The funny thing about Athens is, I mean, the level of English in Athens and in Greece generally is quite high. Like, you don't run into that problem. But for whatever reason, the majority of wine lists, like restaurant menus, food lists, will be translated into English. It doesn't matter if it's a tiny hole in the wall, if it's a 5-star restaurant, food is always in English. But wine lists tend to be only in Greek for whatever reason, which is why I included the Greek name for the grapes on all of the infographics.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, so you could at least kind of see. I mean, yeah.
No, that's cool. So let's see. So, I mean, you said something about the arrows on the infographic, but otherwise, which were the most challenging or difficult parts of the book to put together?
The food pairing suggestions for I hate food pairing. I notoriously hate food pairing.
Well, me too, because I'm so bad at it. So
I know, we do. So that was some trial and error cooking and food pairing, and a little bit of hunting everybody's websites and other reviews of wines to try to get some information. So, I mean, The book was probably equal parts desk research as well as, drinking.
But that's good. I mean,
I definitely prefer the drinking part.
Yeah. I just had a lot of cool wine tastings to taste through all the wines.
Yeah, very much so.
And the most fun part with except for the wine tastings.
What was the most fun part? I think the most fun part was just, even while I was writing it, I kept discovering new grapes. I mean, Greece is such a treasure trove of native grapes that a lot of people don't talk about. People don't really go beyond Assyrtiko, Xinomavro, and Ayuritico. So even for me, and I feel like I've got a couple of years of Greek wine drinking under my belt. Like some of these grapes were completely new to me, and unfortunately, there were so many more that I couldn't include because the descriptions that I could find were so thin. And if only one producer is making it and nobody's got tasting notes anywhere, then it's hard to make an infographic.
No, but it's good. I like this kind of very easygoing guides also, because otherwise you always have a lot of where they describe, too much of one thing or the other thing, or they're too technical. So I think it's really cool and fun.
Thank you.
And so what was my next question? And I think we jumped a bit back and forth.
We did a bit.
So I mean, you didn't, but I mean, you have traveled a bit to Greece. So any winery you visit that you think is, was very interesting for you, and that you thought was really kind of cool, or that you were impressed about?
Oh yeah, a couple. I mean, I'm lucky enough. I mean, I live so close, so
yeah, no, it's very cool.
And my two best friends used to live in Athens, so I would go up like quarterly to visit them, and they were very good about making sure that there were wine activities when I went. And so I have been a little bit into wine country, but not as much as I would like to have explored. On Santorini, my favorite winery is got to be Fasaltis. They make such beautiful expressions of Assyrtiko, and their winemaker is, I really like listening to him talk about blending, because I think a lot of people don't consider blending the same grape to also be blending. But, when you're dealing with different parcels of the same grape that are in slightly different locations, I mean, they each have their own profile, and blending is such an art. I think particularly maybe if you're blending the same grape with the same grape, it's so that's fascinating. And on the mainland, to at least wineries that I've been to, I really love Europolis Family Winery. This Peloponnesian winery that they have Ayuritico, which is not my favorite grape ever. But they have a beautiful Ayuritico rosé, which are like words that I would not normally put together in a sentence. And they work with a white grape that's really kind of emerged out of the Peloponnese in the last handful of years, called Kidonitsa. I mean, Ayuritico has really kind of, been center stage for the Peloponnese for a really long time, but suddenly there's this white grape Kidonitsa that more and more people are working with, and Europolis is really, really lovely. And the family who owns the winery, they were so welcoming and kind to us when we came. So I would definitely recommend them if you're in the Peloponnese.
No, that's cool. I mean, Greece is, of course, one of these tourist countries where everybody go for their holidays. So I mean. But still, I mean, also as you say, I mean, so far they haven't really been that well known for their wines. I mean, people know they make wine, but
and a lot of people maybe only know Retsina even, and they've moved so far beyond Retsina. Although with that said, I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is, but there is one winery that does a sparkling Retsina that is
Okay.
Quite refreshing, actually. And there's a winery. So like, yeah, if you're going to go to Athens and you're cool with renting a car, but you don't want to drive around the whole country, there's a fantastic winery not too far outside of Athens called Milonas. And they do a lot with the grape Savatiano, which is one of the main grapes used for Retsina, but they're making like really high quality single vineyard, kind of like oaked, unoaked, all different kinds of versions with this grape. But they also make a very nice, delicate Retsina. So if you're interested in exploring that grape, you can do that from not too far from Athens.
Oh, that's cool. It's good to know. I mean, it's all good information for people like, who are into wine and who want to go there. So I'm sure when you're listening in, you will get all the advice from Andrea to know where to go. And also, of course, you need to buy her book.
Which is also available as an ebook if you don't want to haul around a little paperback.
So, I mean, I know I wrote down the question for you, like, because I read through most of the grape varieties. I don't remember them all, of course, but I found it interesting. I mean, there are so many I would like to try. So I'm certainly going to look out for what is available here in Italy.
What kind of Greek wine do you have available in Italy?
Friends of mine here used to organize, or also the local sommelier association, every now and then organize tastings of Greek wines. Before it was mostly from Crete, because I think the Crete consul here is a friend of someone here in the wine business, so he kind of often brings a lot of wine, and he used to bring some Greek wines too.
Fantastic.
And they would organize tastings together. Now I haven't been for several years, because I think the last time was just before the pandemic that I went. But it was always very interesting. So I mean, there was always a Surtico, but still it was the most common grapes. It wasn't really all these you mentioned in your book. So it's definitely interesting to. But I don't think you can find that many of the wines to buy here. I know that. I think some wine bar here has some few that you could actually taste, but otherwise. But I'll look into it.
Yeah, look into it. And one of these days, join me in Athens. We'll do a whole
for sure
whole thing.
As soon as I get out of all these that I have to be here every month for all the visits and stuff and therapy and then treatments, but for sure I'm kind of really stoked to be able to soon travel more again, not only in Italy. So I mean, if you would choose like one white, one pink, and one red grape that you think is worth to discover, that is not one of the most common.
I gotta actually look at my book again, because I'm not gonna lie, I love me some Assyrtiko.
But it also has Assyrtiko. I mean, it's a great grape. So I mean, for sure,
it is a great grape. But yeah, it is like the one that everyone knows. So I feel bad, kind of just pulling out something else. I think, you know what? Speaking of Crete, Thrapsatiri. There's this white grape on Crete. I think it only grows on Crete called Thrapsatiri. And I've really enjoyed that one. I don't know how many how common it is on Crete. Off the top of my head, I can only think of maybe 3-4 producers, but I'm sure there are more. It's not like I've explored everything. But it's very lively. It's fresh. It's got some really, really nice notes. Shay, why did I just forget? Sorry, words. What am I thinking of? Yes, Anna Maria of Unraveling Wine and Hanya Wine Tours. She would be the person to go to for anything about Cretan wine. So she would definitely have some better Thrapsatiri recommendations than I have, but it's a fantastic grape. For the pink ones, there are a couple of just like outright pink grapes, which are fascinating.
Well, I also found it fascinating that you mentioned the pink grapes, because usually you would write them under whites, or you would just, put the rosé wines as
Which
red.
is, what I did for the Turkish book. But I think the reason why I separated them for the Greek book is because people are like really stretching what they're doing, because so often the pink grapes, they just get made into quite often a Blanc de Noir of some sort, right?
Yeah.
But particularly with Moscofiore, which is another Peloponnesian grape, highly aromatic. Most often you see that as a white wine, but people are doing some pinks with it. There's one winery, I want to say it's called Troupies, that makes this wine called Route Gris. And so they do it with a fair amount of maceration, and it's oily and textured and aromatic, and it's just, we're obsessed with it. Like when I go to a country multiple times, I don't tend to buy the same bottle of wine to bring back, because I've gone all that way, I've got to bring back something new.
Yeah, exactly.
This wine I buy multiple times. I love this wine so much.
That's great.
And there's a fantastic winery I haven't visited because it's a schlep from Athens. But I love their wine called Marcogiannis.
Okay.
They're all the way, like, here's my Michigan pulling out my hand as a map. They're like all the way on the other side of the mainland. And they work with some really weird, rare, mostly the red grapes. And they've done some really interesting things. So yeah, Greek wine is really cool. Like there's a lot happening right now.
Definitely. Now I get really like a country to travel for wine. I mean, to discover for sure.
And what's great is so much of it you can find in Athens. So yeah, even if you can't get out of the city, you're not limited to just, your bog standard couple few grapes. There are so many wine bars and wine bars specializing in some of these stranger, weirder grapes that you've never heard of. So yeah, it's a good time to explore.
That's cool. So if you talk the red grapes, which one is more close to your heart while you were writing this book?
That one's tough because there actually are quite a few.
Yeah,
I think there's a grape called Limniona that I should know where it's from, but off the top of my head, I don't remember. It's a lesser known grape, but it has my personal preference for red and rosé wines is for less fruity and more like earthy, savory. And Limniona kind of hits that spot for me, but it's very silky. It's got nice acidity. I mean, this is one of the things that Greece, I think, does really well is these more medium-bodied wines that, don't hit you in the face with the tannins. They have tannins that are there. Their wines are structured, but generally a little bit silkier with high acidity that are going to go really well with food, but that won't be angry if you decide to sip it by yourself because you're lazy and you don't want to cook. I mean,
exactly.
so Limniona, I think, is the wine that's the grape that's really getting to me lately.
It says the middle somewhere. Thessaly.
It might be. I pull out the book and find out. There.
No, I have it here. So I was looking, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yes, Thessaly. Yeah.
Thessaly.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, I think. What other questions did I have? I mean,
what questions did you have? We might have covered everything.
I think we talked about everything. Also, like you basically run the show while I was. But that's great. So I don't know. Are there anything you want to add that you think is, you want people to know? Well, except for buying the book.
Yeah, well, you did ask, and I didn't actually answer about like tips on cool wine bars.
That's true.
Yeah, so for Istanbul, because I'll do both Istanbul and Athens. Why not? Istanbul, the two that are I think the best. There's one on the European side. Hi, Cindy.
Hello. Hello. You're never late. I mean, we had a weird show, so when you watch it again, it's going to be a bit weird.
Fashionably on time is what she is. Yeah, in Istanbul, I think the bar that's closest to my heart is a bar called Solera,
Okay.
which is probably like the original wine bar, I think. This is what I tell everyone anyway, because a lot of places will call themselves a wine bar, but will only have 3 or 4 wines by the glass. And to me, that's not a wine bar.
No, not really.
No. This place has a pretty wide list. It's also one of the most economic places to drink. And right now, Istanbul is so expensive these days.
Oh, really?
So, oh my God, so expensive. So yeah, getting a drink there won't break the bank, but also the guys there. The guys are all wine lovers. They know their list. They know their wines. They speak pretty good English, and they know how to talk to people about, people who have never heard of things like a Kuzguzu and Boaz Kere. They know how to compare it to international grapes and to like make people feel comfortable. The best wine bar in Istanbul, though, to go to, a little bit pricier, is called Wayana. It's on the Asian side in the neighborhood Moda. And again, big wine lovers, the folks who are behind this, but they have, I'm convinced it is the largest wine list in the whole country. And because they use the Koraven, they serve almost everything by the glass. Almost everything
cool.
they have, and they have hundreds of wines. It's incredible what they have. So that's like the place to go if you really want to dive in and explore Turkish wines. In Athens, again, there are so many great wine bars in Athens, but I think we're going to go 3 of my favorites. So my big beef with Athens is that apparently Greeks don't drink until later in the day. I don't understand that. So wine bars don't open until like 4 or 5. What is that? There's one in the center. I'm not sure if it's in what neighborhood is that in? It's tip of my tongue. Big touristy area. Anyway, you'll find it on Google Maps, called Heteroklito. Heteroklito opens at noon. This is very good. They have an always changing by the glass list. I think it changes every month. They have really interesting wines by the bottle, nice folks. So Heteroklito is fantastic. Also very central is there's a series of wine bars and restaurants called Warehouse, but Warehouse CO2, which opens at 8 a.m. because they also serve coffee. Focuses on sparkling
wine. And then wine.
Yes. They focus on sparkling wines, both Greek and international wines, and they have a number by the glass, which is fantastic. And then right across the street from Warehouse is a place called Drunky Goat. I know, I love it so much. They are really different from anywhere else that I've been in Athens in that they offer a number of pre-made flights, and they have a great little guidebook that goes along with all of the flights. But they also do this thing called a blind tasting game. And if you order that, they just bring you wine. They tell you nothing. And they give you they give you a little sheet. And for each wine, there are a couple of aroma flavors, whatever. And then you kind of pick out which ones you think it is. And then when you're done, they'll come back and they'll tell you what were the right answers and what the grape is supposed to be and everything. And I mean, there's no like prize for winning other than drinking all the delicious wine, which its own prize. Yeah, it's a great prize, I think. But still, it's a really fun thing to do, and it's not something that I've seen anyone else offer in Athens. So so go to those places.
That's cool. And in Istanbul, you already talked about it while I was away, or?
Yes, that would be the Solera. the Wayana with the.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought that was also Athens. Sorry. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's been a great talk.
You missed most of it.
Chaotic. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
I am normally a professional, but it feels
You're
like this
always a professional. No. I can
kind of just slipped out of my
put live
control.
like TV host, show host on my CV as well.
For sure. No, but I think it got fun for people watching anyway, because I mean, talked about what
Unless I lost people during that period, who knows?
No, it seemed like there were more during that period than now. So. But might also be it was in the beginning. So no, I mean I really enjoy it because I always enjoy your books, and of course we haven't seen each other, I think, since the early pandemic, but I hope to see you around somewhere soon. Well, I have to go to Istanbul and visit you sooner or later.
I'm sure I owe you a visit as well. So we'll draw straws for who goes first, flip a coin or something.
No, so I was really keen on having you as a guest, also because I mean to learn what you're up to now, and even if I follow what you do, I mean, still, I think you kind of also turned the wine into a job, to a way of working with wine, which is not easy. It's hard work, and often not that much money, but it's fun at least. So that's
it is that.
And so I don't know. Do you have anything anything else you want your viewers to learn about? How can they find you? I saw on Quirky Cork and on your website. And
yes, so you can find me on my website, the quirkycork.com. You can also find links on the quirkycork.com to purchase the books. The print books are available on Amazon and also through the printer directly. And for those of us who think Amazon is evil, you can order it from the printer directly, and it's actually slightly cheaper than it is on Amazon. You can also download the ebook for the Greek book directly from my website. You can find me on Instagram at Quirky Cork. Somebody already had which is annoying. And if you are in Istanbul or planning to come here, you can book a tasting or a tour with me, either with Fernware or Vines and Pearls, or you can reach out to me directly, and I can help you set that up.
Well, I'll put in the comments later on, I'll put your website so they can find you easily. And I think it was a great talk. I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot more about Greek wine and also what you do. So that was great. And for those of you following my new live stream coming up again, I mean, I've done a couple. I'm trying to be a bit more active now that I have a bit more energy. Here's another one who is following us. I don't know who that is, but anyway, hello to Buffa something. And next live stream should be on the 1st of December. But I just found out now in the beginning of this live stream that I will have the bronchoscopy on the 1st of December. So I am not sure yet if I will have to move that one too. But I will let you know. But it's going to be with Mazzari Winery, which is a tiny winery in Veneto, which is in a completely hidden corner of Veneto. Nobody knows it, which is the Agno Valley, just north of Vicenza. I'm actually working with them, so I'm helping them with a bit of contacts and content writing and so forth. It was great to see you too, Cindy. I hope you're all okay. I saw you were in France. So a lot of things coming up. I will drop the link also to sign up for my newsletter for those of you who want that, and then you can follow some other of my what's happening. And as I said, I will drop the link to Andrea. You should definitely go and follow her and contact her if you go to Turkey. So I think that was it. I mean, thank you, and I hope you're not too to kind of traumatize by this kind of being having to
Not at
run.
all. No. It was lovely to be back. It's so nice to see you being active again.
No, it feels good. I mean, last year was rough, or early this year too. I think up until July was a bit rough. Then it started getting a bit better. So that's cool. And well, anyway, have a great evening, and thank you for joining.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Oh, and that's Dr. Watson. Everyone say hi to Dr. Watson.
Oh, so cute.
All right. Thank you, Katarina. Thank you, everyone who joined. And reach out to me if you're interested in Turkish or Greek wine, especially if you want to import it.
Yes, you should. Also, Scandinavian importers import Greek and Turkish wine. Yeah. Okay, so see you soon, and thank you again, Andrea. Just stay on for a second as I'm closing the live stream.
Okie dokie.
Ta-ta.